Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk. We're also going to throw the emotes in the chat to thank Mjan for subscribing with Prime. That's 43 months. Thank you very much, Mjan. As Mjan says, War in the Pocket fans, there are dozens of us. That's right, the RX-78 NT-1 Gundam NT-1 is indeed from Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket. That is true. I am a War in the Pocket fan. You know, is it as good as 8th MS Team? No. It gets compared a lot to 8th MS Team, and they're different stories, and I don't love that. But yeah, the old RX-78 NT Gundam NT1 Gundam NT1, which is also called Alex, which is just funny, I think. Yeah, it exists. I think it's a cool looking mobile suit. This is a Gundam that has been, this particular kit has been in my backlog. Hey, Lashbrook. It's been in my backlog for too long is what I would describe. I got it last year and it has lived in my backlog, and it's just people have picked other things consistently. We're almost in 2026, sorry, but it still was in there, and it finally won a poll, and we're going to work on it next. But we still have to finish the Ultraman Zero Wukong Armour DX. That's right. We got ourselves a action figure model kit with limited posability, but, excuse me, sorry, whoa, terrible. But it is the Monkey King, and we must respect the Monkey King. Let's go over to the old overhead camera there. You can see here, when I say limited posability, the head moves. So limited. The arms, I think, will move a little bit. The feet might move. We'll find out when we get there. We're going to build the arms next here. I got to get the different hands out of this thing, and we'll get that together. G1 over here, G2 over here. We'll build them at the same time. I hope you're doing well out there on the old internet, everybody. It's a Saturday. I didn't do a lot today. Today, I have been unbelievably busy since I returned to Connecticut from Connecticut, I should say, on Monday. And I have just been go, 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 go. And so today, I didn't do much. I went for a nice long walk because I haven't been for a walk in quite some time. And that was great. My exercise was pretty much my exercise the past several days of last week and the beginning of this week was moving boxes and cleaning and coughing because of dust, just old dust. So I have not done my usual routine, and then so I spent the rest of this week just biking when I returned, and then today I was like, I'm going for a walk. Weather was nice. And I wanted to go walking. Halfway through the walk, took off my hoodie because I did not need it, which was great. Yeah, it was nice to do. But yeah, I haven't done much. I caught up on my manga and my manhwa. I got caught up on that. Also, there was anime to watch because I hadn't watched a bunch of anime. It's funny. I had been prepping. This episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club that goes up for people on Monday, my $5 and $10 patrons can watch it tomorrow. That video required more work than a usual Pat Bear's Anime Club. Usually it's just like some research. A lot of what I have to do for Pat Bear's Anime Club really comes down to just getting photos together of the shows I want to talk about. Hello and welcome. Thanks for being here, Basecamp Matt. Appreciate you. Yeah, so I don't always... usually it's just like a lot of research is what I have to do for Pat Bear's Anime Club. But this particular one was me watching a show, specifically rewatching a show. And I won't go into exactly what it is because I feel like I should wait for it coming out on Monday. Sunday for my $5 and $10 patrons, but Monday for everybody else. So I was doing a lot of research for that, which went well, but like I said, it wasn't research so much as it was watching the shows watching the episodes of a show. So I did all that. Some of that I did in a hotel room, which was not ideal. I was sharing a hotel room with my parents. So eventually I watched the last 2 episodes of a show from 2018. Rewatched it in the hotel lobby late at night when it was just me and the person working the overnight shift. And occasionally someone would walk in to check in late night or ask if there were rooms available or whatever, or ask to use the bathroom, which I'm sure this particular person got quite often, because they were, a hotel that has a lobby open 24 hours a day. But yeah, I got that was not necessarily the most ideal place to watch, but I had to watch those things. I wanted to finish the show so I could get my thoughts together before I recorded, and I didn't know if I would have time this week to watch it all, so I watched it, which was unusual. I don't often watch anime for a Pat Bear's Anime Club video in a hotel room. I'll say that. But I am almost completely caught up. I still need to watch one episode, or I need to watch this week's episode and then previous week's episode of what the fuck is the full name of that? Dad is a hero, Mom is a spirit, I'm a reincarnator. I always forget what the name of that show is because it's not the name of the English language manga. It's not the English language name of the manga, I should say. So I always forget what it's called. So my apologies, but yeah, I'm an episode behind on that, and I want to get caught up for Monday so I could talk about both episodes. But that's okay. I'll get caught up tomorrow or on Monday. I've got time for that. I spent a portion of yesterday, which I thought was a productive use of my time, while Jeff Gerstmann was playing bad old NES games. I was keeping an eye on chat, as is part of my duties as a moderator. But I was also wiping 2 iPads. I am now in the possession of a 8th gen iPad from the year 2020 and a iPad that was purchased last year, a 13-inch iPad Air M3, I want to say. Maybe it's an M2. I think it's M3. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the iPad Air is fucking huge. This 13-inch iPad Air is enormous. It should be stated that I am used to the iPad Mini. The only time I've ever owned an iPad was I had an iPad Mini. It was a 2nd gen iPad Mini. I still have it. It still works. It doesn't get updates on some apps. I believe eventually most of the apps that I was using don't work on it anymore, including the YouTube app, which was a shame because it was a good video viewer. I was mostly using it for document stuff. It was nice to have it work because I could keep scripts on it and then read through the scripts. The iPad Mini is small, as you know. It has a headphone jack on it. That's how old it is. So you could use a swipe thing that would plug into the headphone jack, which was nice. It's nice to have a headphone jack, turns out. So I had that, and now I am jumping from that to these 2 iPads. One we are keeping as a backup for my mom's iPad because her iPad will go someday, and the one I have is newer, so she'll be able to use that. And if she wants to upgrade to it, she certainly can. But I'm going to use the big new iPad. What for? Mostly for reading manga. Honestly, it's going to be a lot of reading manga and watching videos. I could do some work on it, but it really is going to be like a second screen experience. The one thing I do want, which I don't have right now for it, is this B4? Did I pull the wrong piece out of here? I want to say that was B4. Yeah, this is B4. Okay. The one thing I do want to find that I don't have right now is I need a USB-C to HDMI adapter. Because I want to use it for running video stuff If I'm going, like if I'm traveling, I don't travel much these days, but if I am traveling for like a weekend, I want to take the iPad instead of taking my laptop. It's better than my laptop is a junky boy. This is going to be better for running video. Now, I won't be able to do some stuff, like if I'm going, like the time I was in Connecticut, having my laptop there was definitely helpful. But if I'm going away for a weekend or something, or overnight, I just want to take the iPad. But I do want to be able to hook it up to TVs, you know? So I'm going to have to look for a iPad or Apple, USB-C to HDMI, because I have the Lightning to HDMI. So I can hook up my phone or my old iPad. But this one is USB-C, which is great, but I don't have a USB-C to HDMI. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to look at it. I'm not going to buy it right now, but we'll do USB-C to HDMI like iPad. Let's see if there's an official one. There are cables. I'm not necessarily looking for a cable. I would like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. USB-C to HDMI for iPhone 15, 16, Mac Pro, Air, iPad Pro. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That makes them that's I'm looking for a device that is white and has the USB-C for power and the HDMI out. Yeah, so you can power it because you probably want to add in power. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. Because the one I remember I had for Lightning also had a Lightning port on it, so you could plug it into a wall to boost power or to power the device while you were plugging it in. Yep. All right, I'm bookmarking this device. I'm going to put this in. There's no rush on it. I don't need it, but I do want it at some point. To put that in there, yeah. Yeah, I don't need it, but I do want it. You know what I mean? Like I said, at some point, I'm going to want to plug that in. And then also, maybe I'll just plug that in to my dad's TV for when he wants to watch. Well, no, that'd be on Wi-Fi instead of being wired. So my dad likes to watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime on the TV. And our TV is too old for the apps that were built in. And those are bad anyway, so I wouldn't want to use those. But they're not good for the apps. So what we do is I bring my laptop out and set it up near the TV, plug it in right into the wall to the Ethernet, and then plug it in HDMI. And if this iPad, if I had an HDMI out on it, I could just run that to the TV and then have it on, just Wi-Fi. And that would be probably better than my laptop. And then I wouldn't be using my laptop every week, which is not difficult. It's just, I don't want to use it. Taking the iPad out and just plugging it in and then powering it up. I'm like, that sounds way better. I don't know. I just think that makes a lot more sense to me. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but to me, it'd be easier to do that. Okay. We'll get the bottom half of this kit done here and then panel line it. I panel lined the top half of the kit already, so we'll do the bottom. Does this need marker? Not really, but it's kind of nice to do it, so we will. All right, so I got to do the front cape part here. Maybe I should just panel line what I can reach and then do the rest. We'll see. Let me look at what this looks like when I put it on the front here, our front tassel here. We'll see what it looks like. I am unfamiliar with this Ultraman. This particular Ultraman transformation. I am not familiar with it in any Ultraman series. I do not know. I am familiar with Ultraman. I am certainly familiar with the fact that this is Wukong armor and that this is definitely the fucking Monkey King. Like, he's got a tail, he's on a cloud, and he's got a pole. This is the fucking Monkey King. Like, that I know. I get that immediately. I look at this and I go, that's the Monkey King. That's definitely the Monkey King. There's no way it isn't. Okay, yeah. So I'll panel line this now and then do more of it here. This does not need it, but a little bit of marker on this will just add some flavor to it. It'll just add a little shading to it. Just give it a little pop, right? Like it's not as needed as a model kit. When we start the RX-782, the RX-78 NT-1 Gundam NT-1, that kit's gonna need some paint because it's gonna need some marker, I should say, because it's older kit and it's got a cream colored base, an off-white base, and it's going to need a little bit of pop, and we'll give it that pop. This probably doesn't need it, but why not make it look good? It's the right plastic for it, so we'll make it look pretty okay. I spent a good chunk of yesterday working on my iPad, and then the other iPad, removing some stuff from it, learning all the tricks of the trade. This one does not have the thumb button on it, but it does have a button. The like hold button on the iPad is a thumb thing, and so I have chosen to put my thumbprint and a fingerprint on it. I have put a print on it, and that does make things fairly convenient. I was like, okay, yeah, all right, it's doing its thing. But yes, I had to put iTunes on. I had to put iTunes on my computer for the first time since I've had this computer. I don't think there's ever been iTunes on it, but I had to put iTunes on there to do the factory resets that are like, I don't want to call them annoying, but like they get the job done. I had to do some factory resets on the iPads, restores. Which I did, and they worked fine. Got it done. All right, I've done that. We'll clean that up in a second. We'll just see if this needs anything. We're just hitting the grooves a little bit with some of the marker. If I had one of those like fill pen panel liners, this would go a lot faster. You just like touch the thing and then the ink flows and you can see where it needs it. But I don't have one of those. I'm just using the pens. The basic pens. I should do that at some point, right? I should get one of those fill tools and try it out because I've never used it. I've watched videos. I've certainly watched live streams and YouTube videos of people using the fill tool or the fill pens, the ink there for panel lines. I should try that someday. Okay, so we got that on, and then we got to go to the back here. Go to the back and do B210 for this jar. Got to put the jar on here. And then I guess we can see if there's anything that needs. Yeah, okay. This with the marker here. See if there's anything that pops on it. I don't know. I did want to talk briefly. We're not going to go through every single match, but I did want to talk a little bit about Wrestle Dream, which I watched this week. I did not see it live. It's the first AEW pay-per-view I have missed in quite a while, but I was unavailable. So I watched some of the pre-show. I will say, on the one hand, the idea that FTR versus Jet Speed started as a pre-show match and then carried over to the main card. On the one hand, I find that very interesting. That is a cool idea. Up until the point where I remember that for some people, there's no easy way for them to watch that match. So they just saw part of a match. Because you have to remember that if you are buying the pay-per-view on YouTube, the pre-show you get is the one without matches. If you buy it on Amazon or YouTube, you get a just like Renee and RJ interviewing people thing. And the video packages. You're not getting any wrestling. To watch the wrestling, you have to watch it live on TNT or after the fact on TNT, or you have to have it through Max. So not all the easy ways to watch the show get you that. So for some people, they don't have cable or they don't have Max because they paid for it on a service to watch it. they suddenly tuned in for their pay-per-view and got part of a match. And I know that's, I guess, in certain ways, a way to advertise the service. Like, well, if you want to see the whole thing, either watch it on TNT or, you know, if you got cable, or if you don't have cable, well, the easiest way to do it would be to just, you know, buy the thing on Max, get Max. Like, I understand why they're doing it. I just don't like it. I don't like the very concept of it. I think it's bad. I should also say Eddie and Hook versus the Frat House. I'm glad Griff Garrison and Cole Carter got the pre-show money. Good for them. That the pre-show was basically fine. Harley and Willow are a fun tag team. I was happy to see them do their thing. They are fun. I will not pretend like they're not a fun tag team. Everyone was banned for ringside for Jamie Hayter versus Tekla, which felt like a long TV match. I don't know. I don't see what some people see in Tekla. I do not see her as a single star. I see her as a enforcer in a faction. I do not see her as the breakaway star. And no spoilers for no, I don't want to say that. There's half an hour left. I don't know what happened yet. But like, she's in a singles match on Collision tonight that may or may not have already happened. But it was taped, so there are spoilers out there. And it's just like, I don't see it. I do not see what other people see. To me, her being in a faction makes a lot of sense, but she should not be the focal point. If you're in a faction with Julia Hart, you shouldn't be Tekla should not be the focal point in that faction. And I believe that is not what AEW feels. And I just don't see it. I do not see it. Giving her a microphone, having her win singles matches. In this case, she didn't win it. She lost to Jamie. But being in a pay-per-view, having a pay-per-view singles match, I'm like, nah, I don't get it. I don't buy it. I don't like it. That's my feelings on that. I'm fairly happy with Jurassic Express existing again as a babyface tag team. I want good things for Luchasaurus more than anything. I am glad that he is not Kill Switch anymore. Hey, Lord Crashington. I am glad that Luchasaurus is Luchasaurus again. I am happy for the man behind the mask, who had quite an awful health scare and seems to be recovered and doing well. I am very happy for him. I thought the match was fun. I don't think the Young Bucks have bad matches. That's just my opinion. I think the Young Bucks are good fucking wrestlers and work well and sell. And as long as they don't have belts, I got no complaints when it comes to the old Young Bucks. So overall, very pleased with that match. I thought it was really fun. God, I'm fucking so tired of the Hurt Syndicate and the Demands feud. The Hurt Syndicate won a trios match, Tornado Trios match. They are now the number one contenders for the Trios World Championships. They are the baby faces, I guess. They became baby faces because the Demand is feuding with them. Also, just a reminder that I think the Demand is a bad name for a trio. It's bad. The Demand is a bad name. That's my opinion. I'm sick of this feud. I thought it was over. It's not over, I guess. Maybe it'll be a three-way fight. Maybe they'll also get added to the trios. Kyle Fletcher fought Mark Briscoe, and that's got to be fucking over, but it's not. I know from Wednesday, it's not over. It should be over. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe was an awesome match that was too long, because Kyle Fletcher pay-per-view matches are like 5 minutes too long. I'm looking at the time here. It was, 24:45. That's like 4 minutes and 45 seconds too long. Kyle Fletcher shouldn't be, I don't need to see him fight over 20 minutes. I love watching Kyle Fletcher work. I love Mark Briscoe as a wrestler and as a person. But I am just fucking tired of these long, never-ending feuds, because they never end. Whoops. I would like them to, I like some of these feuds to end, and they just do not seem to. Chris Statlander had a great match with Timeless Tony Storm. Chris, that's the right result. Chris needs to win the solo against Tony. Tony seemed thrilled and lost, and now she's going to tag with Mina in the women's tag tournament, which I think is interesting and good for her. I love Chris having that big belt, that big beautiful belt. I don't love her going having a match with Mercedes because I don't like. Again, I said this last time. When Tony and Mercedes fought, I don't like the world champion fighting the TBS champion. To me, if you are the secondary champion and you want to go after the main belt, you should give up your belt for a title shot. Because it just means that there's one less women's match on the card. And I don't like that. Or at least one less women's title match on the card. And again, I'm not a fan of that. But I thought this match was fucking solid. Mercedes versus Mina. And it was a winner take all. So Mercedes is now, she's got so many belts, but she also has the interim Ring of Honor TV championship. Because Mina was just the interim champion. It was an open challenge, and it was answered by Mina, which was probably, to me, a boring option. But yeah, that was like, the open challenge and the whole thing of that felt like AEW wanted Mercedes to win to beat Ultimo Dragon's record on that show because the next night she was going to win another belt. So that's what it feels like. Mercedes has so many belts. I don't hate that. I have no problem with her having all those belts. As long as she doesn't just give them up if she actually loses to people eventually. But if she doesn't lose to people, I reserve judgment to say, actually, that sucks. Because she just vacated. If she just vacates, then that would suck. Did I miss a piece here somewhere? Oh, no. Okay. I didn't miss a piece. I didn't turn the page here. I was like, it's time to put it on the Nimbus, but I have this one piece here. I got one more piece to put on this. I knew this wouldn't take a lot of time, so I'm glad that I have the next kit ready to go, ready to assemble when the time comes. Let's see, any panel lines for this? I don't believe. Put a little something on here. Let's see, yeah, Mercedes, and then Brodito defeated Okada and Takeshita. We are now finally getting some progress on Takeshita probably turning face and leaving the Don Callis family. The story that people have been itching for. We want it. We want that. It looks like we're getting that. Okay, so this has got to go on. Okay, it just clips onto this. Ooh, okay, that's neat. Just some extra fabric that kind of floats in the air here on the power pole. Okay, well, I'll take that. And then the Nimbus, you can put on a stand, or you can just have the Nimbus there, and there are feet hold spots for it. We'll see if our cloud here wants to take any markers. This is a pretty obviously it's hollow, but it's still a pretty thick piece of plastic. But we'll see if this wants to take any marker before we call this quits. But again, very little posability. The feet move a little bit. The head turns. I can change where the power pole goes. I got to get this thing clipped on right at some point here. But yeah, these things are, they're action figures that you assemble. Is their deal. I thought the tag match was solid. I love watching all four of these men wrestle. I'm happy that Brody King has a belt in AEW. I think that's cool. I like Brodito a lot. I think it is a fun tag team. I feel bad for Buddy Matthews whenever he comes out of rehabilitating his broken foot, ankle, something or other. I don't know what it means for him, but I don't know if by then there will be a tag team. You know, if Brodito will still be a going concern. There are a lot of good tag teams in AEW, and some of them get paid to sit at home and not do anything, which sucks. But some of them are out there all the time. So hopefully, let's see Brodito hang for a while. Hangman Adam Page was not in the main event because the main event was full of bullshit. So they did it Joe versus Hangman, and then after it, Joe turned fully heel along with the rest of the ops. I thought the match itself was fine to good. I thought it was well done. Told a good story. I don't love heel Joe in AEW because the crowd is generally not on board with heel Joe. Because the crowd loves Joe. They love Samoa Joe, and they want to continue to honor and respect him. I never even thought of the ops as faces. Well, Lashbrook, they were against the Death Riders, right? They were faces. The thing is that I know that Shibata can be a good heel, and he spent a large portion of his career being a heel. But when he came back from his brutal injury, his life-altering, maybe he's going to retire and never wrestle again injury, the idea of booing Shibata just doesn't occur to me. It just doesn't work. Hobbs, I think, is a great heel. I think Joe can be a great heel. But those were tough baby faces, in my opinion. They've just been tough baby faces because they didn't like the Death Riders, and they have a code, and they do bust heads, but yeah, they were just like anti-hero heroes, you know? They were a little stone cold out there. But the idea of Shibata being a heel, I don't like, even though I think he'll be good at it. I just don't like it. I don't like booing Shibata. I don't enjoy it. But at least they beat up Hangman to give them a reason for the crowd to not like them, and then there's promos and all that. It's very funny to think that Hook, who was injured or sick, and then they replaced him with Hobbs to win the titles, and he came back and he's like, I'm going to go do my own thing because he's like not happy with them. Turns out he was right this whole time. The only way Joe can be heel is if he's just relentlessly talk shit to people, but expecting people to hate him is a fool's errand. And that's the thing. He's so good at shit talking that people love it. Like obviously attacking the world champion, a beloved world champion like Hangman Adam Page, is a good way to get yourself some heel heat. There are people he can attack and beat up that will get him that heat, that will get people to be like, well, actually fuck this guy. It's a difficult challenge at this point. All right, let's try to get these locked into the position here. I have a stand that I could plug this in. Hold on. I'm going to get a stand so we can look at this on a stand. Let me do pre-show here. All right, let me just get up and get this, because I can get a stand in just a moment here. All right, and then I can come back in here, and I can go back to main, and I got this blue stand here from the Rose Gundam. It's a little dirty, but all right. And then we just got to kind of tweak this like that, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, I like that. I like using the blue because of the sky. Yeah, I think that's neat. So that way you can have the Nimbus on the stand. You can see it here. We got the Nimbus on the stand. We've got our Ultraman Zero Wukong Armour DX. I think this kit is really fun. This was a good build. Thank you, Chris, for picking this up along with the horse that we built on Thursday. I think this is very neat. This is a cool thing. I like the Nimbus Cloud a lot. I'm going to take a photo of this, and then we'll move on to the next build. But yeah, this is pretty cool. The main event, Darby Allin made Jon Moxley say I quit in a match that had skewers and water and drowning and sting, everything you could want. Sting was there. I thought the match was fine. It didn't need to be, to me, didn't need to be 25 minutes. Clearly, the reports indicate that they had ideas they couldn't use because of the state association and blah, blah, blah. There was some stuff they couldn't do that they wanted to do and all kinds of things. I will say this. Darby Allin has been so obsessed with trying to light Jon Moxley on fire that the idea that the match was water-based, I think is fucking cool. I think that's a cool idea. That they were like, we're gonna make this about drowning somebody as a way to differentiate ourselves from the whole thing we've been doing with him trying to light the guy on fire. I thought that was pretty cool. It worked for me. All right, so we'll put this aside. I gotta get this out of here. Just that. I gotta roll back in spot. I'm gonna drink a little water here. So yeah, pay-per-view thought was pretty damn good. Not my favorite of the year, but I thought some of the matches were solid. All right, so we're gonna swap from the Wukong to the RX-78 NT-1 Gundam NT-1 from War in the Pocket. I've got to get I've got some parts here. I got to put them on my my sprue sorting system here. So we got A, we got B. We do have lots of polycaps. Lots of polycaps for this build and some stickers. We can make it the kit say Alex, which is neat. Last says the broken aquarium pieces gave me anxiety. Yes, I will agree, Lashbrook. There were some moments in there that I was like, no, I don't love that. I don't love these. I don't love these things. I do think Joe and I think ending with Sting and Darby is a nicer note to end on than Joe and the rest of the ops beat the shit out of Hangman. So I guess it makes sense. Also, that match was brutal. Oh yeah, hell yeah! You can buy the other components there. Do the old upgrade. This is a kit from the year 2004. This is a reissue, so these plastic is not the plastic itself is not from 2004, but the design is from 2004. So it is an old kit. I don't know when this was reissued, but it is from a reissue. So it's not going to be the most involved build, but there'll be some things we have to do to make it work. Oh yeah, we got markings to put on the outside armor and all that. Gotta do a few things here and there. Yeah, this should be a fun build. So we'll get that ready. I gotta take this. I moved this off, and it's in front. It was directly in front of the chat, so then I could not see. I was like looking around. I'm like, I'll just move it. Why am I giving myself work like that? But yes, let's build a model kit. Oh, can I delete that? Okay. And then I've got some news of the gaming world that we didn't get to on we didn't get to that. Okay, well, so there was a correction. So there's an aftermath story. We didn't talk about this. So there is a complaint in a California court between one developer of a Roblox game and people that copied the game for Fortnite. The original version of the name of that was in the game. Okay. Also, the thing is, so there is a brain rot game. Now, if you are someone who does not know what brain rot means, it's replaced the word meme for the children and the teens and the young adults. They call memes that infect you and are dumb. Dumb memes are now called brain rots. And then if it's done in a particular language, it could be that name of that language or the country of origin brain rots, like Italian brain rots or Indian brain rots. So that's the thing. If you were wondering why we're suddenly calling things that we would just call memes, there are still things that are memes. But if they make you dumber for knowing them or for being obsessed with them for a brief period, then those are indeed brain rots. Anyway, steal a brain rot is a thing where is like one of the top games on Roblox all the time. You collect and steal brain rots from other players. Aftermath describes it as capture the flag, but there's a lot of flags and it's brain rots. So it is slightly different. The attorney for steal a brain rot for the company that makes it had to describe in court what brain rots are, what the game was, and how this Fortnite game is stealing it. And I love this. I'm going to quote Adam Starr, the attorney for Spider Games. The brain rots march slowly in a line down a red carpet that runs through the center of the arena of gameplay. Players capture the brain rots and take them to their base, which is like a mini jail on the edge of the arena, to earn virtual currency. Different brain rots have differing values depending upon their rarity. Meanwhile, players can steal each other's brain rots from their respective bases. The virtual currency a player earns from the brain rots can be used to upgrade their base or unlock special abilities, like grabbing brain rots or escaping thieves more easily. I just love it so much that is something like, and I'll say, that's a pretty good explanation. I watched a little bit of footage of that game. I'm like, yeah, that is a pretty good job. Hopefully that's enough for the judge to understand what's going on. Let's see. So the developers, as of August, have copyrighted Steal a Brain Rot. And there are a bunch of copycats on Roblox and also on Fortnite. And there is a game on Fortnite's user-created platform called Stealing Brain Rots. And apparently that is infringing. And that's, I should state, not to be confused with Steal a Brain Rot. Clone, Steal the Brain Rot. So Steal a Brain Rot is the Roblox, and they apparently have copyrighted that. Steal the Brain Rot is an officially licensed game. People made a copy and then licensed it from the Roblox people to make it a legit game that can exist in Fortnite, which is different than the one that is being sued. Stealing Brain Rots. The S at the end is the indication. That's the clone. Stealing Brain Rots. Also, Stealing Brain Rots doesn't have that many players because people were playing Steal the Brain Rot, which is the licensed one and is better. And that's also what Aftermath thought was the game being sued. It's not the game being sued. At first, they had to correct it. The attorney had to correct them. Look, I just want to say brain rot a lot, and I got a chance that none of this matters. Everything's going to be okay. It's just that a judge in California had to learn, was forced to learn for their job what brain rot is, and that's interesting to me. also the person they're suing lives in the United Arab Emirates, so we'll see how that goes. Thomas Vandervoort, solo dev, who's being sued. Hey, I bet you thought the first story I would talk about today was Halo Campaign Evolved is a game coming out. It is it's coming to PlayStation. The PlayStation 5 is going to have a Halo game. Halo is on PlayStation going forward, starting with Campaign Evolved. It is built in Unreal Engine 5 and has updated visuals, animations, music, and re-records voice lines from the original Halo. So Campaign Evolved is a remaster of the first Halo game. And it's going to be on Steam and Xbox. And you can also do the Xbox on PC thing. And then also it's going to be on PlayStation. And I know that for some people, that's the death of Xbox. Xbox is dead. It's not the increases to Game Pass. It's not the increases to console prices. It's not that they closed a bunch of studios. The death knell is that once one of their proud exclusives is now no longer a proud exclusive. To which I say, exclusives are bad. Exclusives are terrible. I say this as a person that played a lot of Halo and Halo 2. Did I buy an Xbox because my friends were playing Halo and I played Halo with them and I wanted to get better at Halo? Yes, that's accurate. I bought an Xbox specifically to play Halo with my friends so I could be better at it. That is true. Also, they're going to make the library better. This is the thing. But the thing is that people are freaking out about is the fact that it's going to be on PS5, that exclusivity is now a timed thing for just about everything, outside of Nintendo, of course. But honestly, I got no fucking problem with that. I think it's great. Buy the system you want, buy the games you want to play on that system. I think it's awesome. I think it's neat. Dirty just subscribed at tier 1. Said 74 months. Thank you so much, Dirty. Listen to the Bear Cave Lego site. Tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank Dirty for the continued support. Hey, 74 months is a lot of months. That's just like a long time. So thank you very much for the continued support. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, man, Sarah Bond said that the concept of console exclusivity is outdated. To which I agree. I don't know. I think it's neat. I don't know. I don't have much I don't have doom and gloom about it. I mean, there's other things, as I said, there are other things to have more, in my opinion, doom and gloom about when it comes to Xbox as a console manufacturer going forward than the fact that they're going to put Halo on the PlayStation 5. That just feels like, yeah, all right. Yeah, they should. Let people play Halo. Make it day and date. Good. I don't know. I don't fucking have a problem with it. I don't know, D38, what's going to be on this? Got B38 is over here. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with it. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I certainly don't. It's neat. Let's see. Other stuff here. Supposedly, there is a lawsuit here happening, I believe, where NetEase, released an employee of NetEase, is being accused, someone's accused of lifting art assets from the portfolio of a former Black Panther game environmental art director. Console exclusives would be nice, but every game has to make so much money now, it's just not practical. See, to me, console exclusives aren't nice because it just means that like a multiplayer console exclusive to me is just like shooting yourself in the foot, right? Or like I don't know. I think that there's things you can do, but to me it's always just been like more interesting to have games available for more people. The more people that get to play cool things, I think it's just neat. More than having like the reason to get the console should just be personal more than anything else. That's just my opinion on it. So basically, there is a interstellar empire of Wakanda map in Marvel Rivals, and this designer, Jersey, is saying, "Hey, that's mine. I made that." And he says he recognized what he called a keyhole extrusion visible in in-game map and publicized concept art. Basically, the claim is that there is stuff that he made specifically in his design work that is not like common to Wakanda maps. And so that like, or other things in Wakanda, like that is like his like specifically things that he made. So it's showing up in other games. In this other game, it's like definitely like theft. I want the reason to choose the Xbox or PlayStation other than, well, I bought the last one, so my games are there. Here's the reason to buy one console over another. You like the controller better. The controllers are always going to be better. You like how the console looks. Like, to me, well, I want to play this one game, so I have to buy this console if I want to play this one game, or 2 games, or 5 games. That's always, to me, been bullshit and shitty. Like if you like Gears of War, but you want a better Blu-ray player, then you can't buy a PlayStation because you got to buy an Xbox for the next Gears of War that might come out because you like Gears of War. Well, if it just comes to PlayStation, then you can buy a PlayStation. I just think that's better. And then yeah, maybe you like there's other reasons why. Like I said, it could be that you just you've never liked the DualSense, so you don't want to buy a PlayStation. But then Spider-Man comes to PC, so eventually you can play Spider-Man, like that kind of thing. I just think that I don't like the exclusives. I've never liked exclusives. I think it's just a bummer for people that have to like read the tea leaves to decide which one, because in 2025, if you can afford both a PlayStation and Xbox in 2025, good on you. That seems so expensive. But if you can swing both, great. But if you just want to get one or the other, that's going to make it easier. And I think that's cool. But yeah, so these are just accusations. There's not a lawsuit yet or anything like that. But it very much seems like at the very least his art was probably lifted and then maybe changed later. And this is not the first time that someone has said this. Apparently, other people have noticed as well. No comment from NetEase right now. I don't expect them to make one. And then apparently the artist has also tried to talk to NetEase. Let's see. Hey, if an old game appears that due to licensing was never going to get a re-release suddenly appears on Steam, I would just assume that that is a scam. Now I don't know if it was a scam in the fact that the game works fine, but Scarface for 2006 appeared on Steam again, and it included some patches that people like community patches in it, which a game company could do, but it's very clear that the people that put that up there do not have the rights to put that game up and sell that game, and they made some amount of money for a brief moment there selling that game to people. Scarface, The World Is Yours, research on Steam, the Epic Game Store, originally released for the PS2, Xbox, and the Wii. Arriving on Steam and Epic, so it appeared on both. Let's see. A publisher on the name EC Digital Entertainment, who promised graphical upgrades, AI-assisted upgrades. They're based in Hong Kong. And their version of Scarface included some mods baked in without permission from the creators. Now, they don't need to get permission to do that if it was official, because it's just community stuff. But usually, if you are going to include that stuff, you get like a verbal okay or a heads up so you can like properly credit that it includes some of that, which apparently they didn't do. And apparently, and then the person, one of the people who, they weren't contacted with their mods was just like, I've literally spoken with the license holders and they would never approve this game coming out. There's no way these people have permission to do this. What's happening here? Which was a big, obviously, tip-off that maybe this was not cool. This release reportedly ships Silent Patch and Fusion Fix, and none of us were contacted about this in advance, which isn't necessary per the license, but would be nice. I know that the holder of the Scarface license wasn't willing to re-release the game, so this is suspect. It says Silent. One of the people that worked on one of the mods that was included in this re-release, quote unquote. And then apparently they were like, actually, we put this up too soon. It shouldn't have been up. Sorry. Apparently you couldn't buy it on Steam, but you could buy it on Epic. And now you can't. It's down. It's just a weird little blip. Just a weird thing. Very strange. Also, one last thing before we take a pause for the cause, and then I start being mad about putting stickers on this head of this model kit, which is coming, because you know me and tiny stickers. One of the voice actors from the game Silent Hill F has been streaming her playthrough of the game, and it's in Japanese, obviously. But clips of it are fucking incredible to watch as she's just having, she's just being fucking grossed out and disturbed as she plays this fucking video game, and it rules. Her name is Konatsu Kato, and she voices one of the characters and did the motion capture for Hanako, or Kinako. And she played like an hour and a half of the game on Steam, do her due diligence. And it's awesome. There is some translation that people put in there. And my favorite quote is, "How could someone come up with something like this?" Which just rules. It's just her having a rough time playing this horror game. And then she's running from a monster and just screaming, "Oh, bad, 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 bad." It's very good. It's really great. And it was entitled Silent Hill F #1, so hopefully she'll do more. It's, like, honestly, folks, it's just really fun to watch this person who I don't think plays horror games wanting to play the game that she's a voice in and did the motion capture for, and just having a rough time. I don't want to say bad time, but she is having a rough time, and it's enjoyable. I skimmed through it and had a good time watching her try her fucking best with a horror game. I've been watching a lot of that stuff, and I've been watching a lot of people play the new Pokemon and seeing the Mega Evolutions. I've been watching a lot of clips of people coming across various Pokemon in their Mega forms and reacting to that, because that's just always fun to see people. Hawlucha has a big bushy protrusion on the front of him, and it looks like that big bird wearing a lucha mask has a penis. It really does. And the amount of people, and it's not just me, I am not the only one that thinks that, because there's been quite a few people just being like, hey, wait, why did they do this? Hey, why did they do this? Wait, what? What's happening? They made that bird big and gave him a penis. What? Which is true. All right. Let's see. What am I going to talk about here? All right. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you for a little bit about ways that you, the viewer, can support me, the streamer, if you're so inclined. Everything I'm going to talk to you about here is optional. You're under no obligation to do any of these things. But if you would like to, I will give you some ways to support me if you can. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build a Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. We saw Dirty resub with Cash Money, and Moonjon use their Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon, you can link it with your Twitch, get Twitch Prime, and you can then use that token for anybody. And if you want to use it for me, your friend Pat, well, I would think that would be pretty cool. So you could do that if you wanted to. You could also support me other ways financially, and we'll go through that. Bits and coins, always appreciated. You could gift a sub. If you want to be the first person this month to gift a sub, you could do that. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier, and there are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. The $10 tier voted for this model kit that I'm working on right now. They wanted to build me this kit that was designed and released in 2004, and it's old. Again, the plastic probably isn't that old, but the design is. I also have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can, of course, subscribe for free, and I would encourage you to do so. And while you're there, if you wanted to, you could become a member. And for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you don't have to wait to find out the show that I'm recommending. You can just jump in there. If you wanted to, of course. You don't have to, but if you want to, that'd be cool. And I would be psyched about it. Everything I make. Those are monthly ways to support me. I jumped ahead of myself. But if you would just like to throw something in a tip jar, you could. I've got a PayPal and a Ko-Fi, and you can make a direct donation. And everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and from that fund I pull money out to buy model kits. I bought this model kit from USA Gundam Store sometime last year, I think early last year, because it was there was a good sale going on, and I was like, yeah, I've got some money coming in from Patreon, I'm going to get that. Or maybe it was from Twitch, I don't know. But I was able to pick that up, and I was happy to do so, because it's a cool kit that I'm excited to finally get a chance to build. Now, I do have a backlog of stuff. I do have stuff that I'm working on. I will be buying more stuff soon. If you would like to jump ahead of the queue and decide what I build next, you could do that. Just like how I started this stream building the Ultraman Zero, and Thursday I built that, and that also built a horse mech. Those were bought off my Amazon wish list. By shout outs to Chris for doing that. If you would like to buy something for me to build and have it jump the queue, you could do so. I have an Amazon wish list. On this wish list, there are model kits and Lego sets. I gotta move this to, that was in the wrong list, so apologies. All kinds of different things and things. And if you buy something, it jumps the queue, becomes the next thing I work on, and I'll make a dedicated video for my YouTube channel about the thing that you purchased, called a mailbag video. I recently added a 30-minute missions kit, specifically so that I can build it and then take the top half and put it on the horse mech that I built, therefore making a centaur, a robo centaur, and I would like to do that. So I also recently added a few things in there, like a Donkey Kong Mario Kart a Lego set that I would love to build, a bunch of things in there. If you see something on the wish list you'd like to see me put together, you can always pick it up. I've got the Son Goku and Piccolo Dragon Ball Daima mini figures, model kit that I would like to build. That's currently, there's a coupon there, so you could save money on it. That's good. A bunch of different things and things. If you see something there you'd like to see me put together, you can always pick it up, and I will be happy to build it. You could spend a little bit of money, or you could spend a lot of money. Those are ways to do it. I have a wish list on Throne. It is nice to have an alternative to Amazon, so that's my Throne wish list. I'll update that again soon. I don't update that enough. And then the most convoluted way to support me financially is to go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. Then, you'll buy that gift card. They'll send you a code in your email. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. That's how that works. Let's see. Is there anything else going on here? Ooh, I got a bunch of... Okay, people just retweeting stuff. Okay. I was just checking quickly to see if anybody had messaged me on any of the social media stuff. If you want to support me, but you don't want to spend any money, you could join my Discord. If you haven't done that yet, it's a lovely little place. We'd love to have you in the Discord. It's a cool spot. Come check us out. A couple video links for you to check out. On Monday, I will have a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, but the most recent episode is obviously still on YouTube, and you can watch to find out all of the isekai that are out this season, and if I'm watching any of them, if I plan to watch any of them, or if perhaps I'll watch them, I'm not going to watch them, or I might watch them. You can watch that video and find out. And then this episode of Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series, and all this month I'm talking about my favorite shows from the summer season. And so I talked about With You in the Rain. Please watch my 1-minute explainer and then go watch With You in the Rain. It is a lovely series about a girl finding a abandoned dog. Only that dog is definitely like some kind of yokai, some kind of spirit inhabiting a tanuki. And it's just fun. And the supporting cast is really solid, and it's a good time. And you will fall in love with this tanuki that is only referred to as you, like you there. Y-O-U. And the woman that has decided to take care of it. It's just great. I'm so happy that adaptation got made. One of my favorite shows from the summer season. Check that out. That is it for me recommending stuff. We are going to dive deeper into the anime talk, though, of course, because I've got 2 shows, 2 episodes of one show, 1 episode of another, and then I'll get caught up on the other one the following week. That's what I've been choosing to do. In order to talk about that, I need to get back to the overhead camera. I need to start dealing with stickers and becoming possibly frustrated with that. And I also need to drink some water. Overdue for that. And in order to do that, we're going to switch the overhead camera, drink the water, talk about anime. We'll do that right now. All right. Let's talk about some anime. Pardon me. While I apply the eye stickers. There are not a lot of stickers for this kit, but this is obviously important to get the eyes done because they're a window to the soul. So I'm going to apply this sticker, and we'll talk about 2 episodes of May I Ask for One Final Thing, and then we'll just do 1 episode of My Awkward Senpai, and then the other episode that I haven't watched of My Awkward Senpai we'll cover next week. That's how that will work. So, if you haven't been watching May I Ask One Final Thing, our main character was made out to be a villainess, and her engagement to the second prince has been ended, and she was like, great, now that I don't have to deal with that shit, may I ask for one final thing? Can I punch you in the fucking face? Because our girl loves justice, and she has realized at a young age, wrongly in some instances you'd say, that it's okay to punch people who've committed crimes or committing crimes. It's okay to punish the wicked. And it is a great way for her to feel better. That's it. That's the show. And she's going to find a variety of reasons and ways to punish people. Right now, she is dealing with clearly the second prince has been manipulated. He's a dumbass, but he was also being manipulated by Godwin. Who is the prime minister and has been involved in the illegal slave trade, including her maid, who turns out to be a slave undercover. But our girl used her vast powers from the goddess to manipulate time. That's the thing, an important thing to note. Our girl, our main character here, she can manipulate time, and she does so to slow down time so that she can punch people more effectively. And then also, she does it so that she's like stacking the punches that she can give people. Because all she wants to do is punch people. She just wants to punch the wicked. That is her big thing. It's her reason for being, is that there are people that need to get punched, and she is going to be the one to punch them. Oh, that fell apart. Hold on. Gotta fix that. See if I can get this properly put in here. So they're going to slave auction. The crown prince, who our girl has never really communicated with too much, Julius, he has taken a real liking to her, and he's just like, hey, I'll let you beat up Godwin, but you gotta do a vow. And Scarlett's like, fine, okay. Nanaka, the slave, the former slave turned now just assistant, finds other slaves that were going to be sold. Let's see. Pardon me. Okay. Oh, that email doesn't mean anything. So she makes her way to Godwin, punching people and Godwin's son, and beating up just all these corrupt nobles that are at this auction. She just has a field day whooping all their asses, which she is want to do, and it's totally reasonable, and it's great. You're just seeing a prim and proper lady with fingerless leather gloves beating the shit out of dudes, and it whips ass. Leonardo, her older brother, apparently has he has the power of clairvoyance, and so he knows that Godwin is trying to escape. And there is apparently they have been used by a neighboring kingdom, and there's an assassin on the roof waiting to help them, or maybe to silence them. We don't know. Yes, they were actually there to silence them. Oh no! And Scarlet prevents that assassination happening. Because this is the leader of a dragon clan, and he's just like, hey, you're very strong and tough and cool. Forget all this. You should marry me. Unfortunately, this is the point where I tell you that this character reappears throughout the series, and I hate him. I don't like him. I wish he would go away. He's not a fun character. I am sick of this dude, this motherfucker, this dragon man that doesn't even look like a fucking dragon. He just looks like a man. He annoys me, and I don't like him. Anyway, they have to fight. It's a whole thing. Because she beats him up and also beats up his dragon. And it rules. Because he's just like persistent of just like, oh, you're strong. We should just get married. And I'll like spare this kingdom. And she's just like, what if instead of that, I whip your fucking ass? And he's just like, oh, wow. You're very strong and cool. We should definitely get married. And I hate him. He's just annoying. He's a broken record. And he's annoying. And I don't like him. Sorry, I got a sticker. I got the back head part of the sticker here that is just stuck to my finger. And so I need to get this sticker off my finger without folding it weirdly or something like that. There, I did it. And then I can put the sticker on the back of this kit here. There. Oh. I don't generally even care. Yeah, I don't care about the back. I don't care about this sticker. I'm just going to get rid of it. It's just a sticker for the back of the head. No one will see it. It's fine. I'm more annoyed that it is like stuck to my finger. There. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Great. Handled. Moving on. Now we can do the, we can panel line this, then we'll put the crown on because the V-fin, because sometimes it's hard to panel line around the V-fin. So we'll just get the pieces we need for that. We'll get those out and then we won't apply them until it's time. Panel line first. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so this is apparently the crown prince of Vanquish. And so they wanted to kill Godwin. His body can't be damaged physically, but turns out if you punch him in the head enough, his head doesn't hurt, but his brain hurts, which is so fucking funny and great. And it turns out Godwin admits like, hey, yeah, so you know the girl you beat up, she wanted me to help her marry the prince, so that's why I've been helping you. And then we find out Terraneza is actually a reincarnation. So this is an isekai. Now you could say to yourself, Pat, the main character isn't an isekai character, so it's not an isekai. To which I will say, fucking okay, you can say that. It's an isekai. One of the primary characters of the show is from another world. In this case, it is Terraneza, who is the girl that the second prince dumped our main character to be with. She's an isekai character. I'm going to call it an isekai. If you don't want to call it an isekai, that's fine. But that at this point, we know by episode 4, we find out, okay, this is an isekai. That's why it's on my YouTube. That's why it's on the video. And then I think the only comment I got on that video was somebody saying like, well, I didn't even know that show was an isekai. So you spoiled it. And I'm like, it's fine. I think I said it was fine. Because it is. Knowing it's an isekai doesn't change anything about how good the show is. Anyway, that was episode 4. Episode 5 starts with Scarlet just it being revealed that her rival, the unwitting rival, is an isekai person, is from a person from another world. Scarlet reacts by saying, "You're saying crazy shit," and just beats the shit out of Godwin. She does not care. She does not believe him or trust him. And also it doesn't matter to her. She's just like, yeah, all right, whatever. You still are a slave trader who conspired with another country. Let's see. Then we find out Scarlet's powers, the power to, she only has so much ability to change time, and she's really overused it. Like, she hasn't rested since she kind of that. So she's overused her powers. Her silver hair turns black, and she is definitely weakened. At that moment, Godwin reveals that he has a gun. He's just got like an Earth gun that apparently our girl, our not our girl, but that our girl from another world, Terraneza, brought a gun with her. I don't know, but he's got a gun. Julius jumps in the way. Leonardo heals Julius. Julius, the crown prince, should not be taking a bullet for a lady. Come on, dude. Like, you've barely spoken to this woman, but whatever. He does the cool thing. He takes a bullet for her. He gets healed. Scarlet throws Godwin off a roof. And then takes a pendant that he got from the goddess Palmia, who is, we have learned, is the goddess that may have summoned this girl from another world. We don't know, but yeah. The prince from the Dragon Kingdom comes and takes All Flame, and is just like, we're excited about fighting you again because you're really tough. And she is definitely not pleased by this notion that she's gonna have to fucking fight this prince again. And when they leave, Scarlet sees that All Flame left his dragon there, Rex. And so Scarlet's like, well, I did beat you up. I'll heal you and adopt you. So now she's got a dragon friend. So then we cut to Terraneza, who we know is from another world. She is an isekai character. She apparently considers herself to be the heroine of this world. And she sneaks into prison to thank Godwin. Because apparently Godwin, as prime minister, has been suppressing the worship of Saint Diana in favor of Palmia, the goddess of love, who is, again, the goddess that clearly is backing her. Then, of course, she poisons Godwin and then declares that Scarlet is a villain, the villainess, and she needs to take her down. Diana is the saint with the power to banish evil, and Julius finds out that a bunch of nobles have been trying to make the worship of Palmia a state religion, even though most of the people in the country worship Diana, including our girl, Scarlet. Okay, we move on here to the arm. Sorry. There's a lot. The episode 5 is a lot of like lore dumping. So I wrote down what I thought was important, but I think I wrote down too much bullshit. But let's work on an arm while I continue to talk about this stuff. Let's see. Scarlet is visited by some friends. And they are freaked out by the fact that, hey, you have a dragon now? What's up? What's going on with this? But they're kind of talking about marriage and trying to figure out what's going on for Scarlet. Julius shows up, and the friends immediately think that our girl is getting herself hooked up with the crown prince, that she is upgraded from the shitty second prince to the crown prince, which is of course a misunderstanding. Julius lets Scarlet know that Godwin has been murdered and that Terraneza has disappeared. And then Scarlet, similar to what I said previously, is like, hey, don't jump in front of a bullet for me, or like I shouldn't say bullet, but don't put yourself in danger for me. You're going to be the next king. Don't like worry about me. What are we doing here? Julius then sends her, presents her with a tiara of roses, and it sounds like at first that he is proposing, but he is not proposing because this is our ace future king here. He's just like, be my favorite toy, which is a fucked up thing to say, and I don't think he actually means it will buy it. I think he just doesn't think of relations like that. Basically, she is useful to him, and he would like her to stay close to him, I guess is what he's saying, if I'm trying to be nice about a character I don't particularly like, but not I like him more than other characters. It's fucked. And so Scarlet was like half expecting this to be a proposal, an actual proposal, and not a stay by me as like a thing that I am amused by. So then she does make a request, which is a thing that she does quite often, and we do love about Scarlet. She says, request that permission to beat him up in an extremely savage manner. And then we cut to the Saint Diana, a real person. And she is excited to meet Scarlet, who she thinks of as a big sister. So the Saint was not a goddess. This was the regular religion. I believe they worship the same goddess. But yeah, we're gonna be introduced next episode to a new character. And that should be pretty good. Episode 5 was a lot of talking, unfortunately, but it was a lot of lore dumping, which was good. I think episode 4 was obviously more fun because it had a lot more action and punching people. I really like this manga. I am so far happy with the adaptation. Obviously, I wish it looked a little bit better. There are some of the fight scenes are really good, and then they clearly save some money in some of the just conversation scenes by making it very fucking static. Also, the subtitles are bad, but that's not the fault of the anime. That is just Crunchyroll right now. I wish that there was stuff for High Dive that I was excited to watch this season, because I'm not into the current stuff they got going over there. It's not for me. I'm not into how the subtitles look over on Crunchyroll right now, and it's a shame. All right, let's keep working on this arm. We need some B and a couple polycaps and D. All right, we'll get the D piece out here. Let's talk about episode 3 of My Awkward Senpai. This is a show that I really enjoy. It is Azusa. She's working at this business here. She is known as like the Ice Queen because she's just got a reputation of being like cold and intimidating. She's just awkward, and she's just like an awkward person. There's a new guy at the company named Yu. And Azusa immediately takes a liking to him. He's like social and outgoing, and she wants to be a good senpai, but she doesn't really know how to be a good senpai. And there's just a lot of awkwardness, and it's a lot of that, like My Awkward Senpai. That's just it's a good descriptive name of the show. So we have episode 3. They have started to they had lunch finally. Or they were getting ready to have lunch. Also, she's not fully maybe she likes him, but that's not really a thing that she is thinking about right now. That has not necessarily become a thing that she has to deal with, but it could be at some point a thing that she has to deal with. But it's very clear that this is a slow burn, office-based romantic comedy. That's just where we're at. That's where we're getting to. B16. So the Azusa's boss, the person that said, "Hey, you should take a look after you," is like, "Hey, one of the coworkers there, Yamaga, is getting married, and we're gonna have a drinking party. We're just gonna have an office drinking party so that we can all, celebrate and all that. Even though he is the fucking new guy, he's the new guy that just fucking got there because, this is also a way for him to prove himself. He is tasked with doing the whole thing. So Azusa is like, shit, I should definitely help him out because I'm his senpai and I'll help him figure things out. That would be good. This will be a good job for me to do. Except she's always avoided these parties and has no idea what goes on there. She just doesn't. So she's like, oh, I actually can't really help him. All right, so I got to find N is here, and I need H, which is this here. All right, great. These are very standard ways of building arms for many years of building kits like this. It's pretty second nature, but I could still fuck up, so I'm trying to be careful that I don't fuck up. This is a great looking white. Some gray on this will really pop. I don't know. This is a standard kit that I am just, putting together and not having, so far anyway, not having problems with. So happy for that. So for a wedding gift, they end up together looking for wedding gifts. And Azusa is maybe going to buy these matching cat mugs, but she then breaks one, and then Yu ends up paying for them, and she's very embarrassed by that. It is a cute little moment, a cute little bit of business that I liked from this episode. It was just nice little character moment for the two of them together, kind of figure their stuff out. Okay, that goes on like that. Eventually, they buy towels as gifts, which are practical, but neither of them is close with this coworker, so they're just buying a practical thing. Azusa kind of finds herself wondering, if she was going to throw a party for you, what kind of party would he like? She's thinking about him. Oh, actually, is this the wrong piece here? I think this is the wrong piece. I think I've got one of these pieces is incorrect. I need B12. Yes, this is wrong. See, I said this was nice and easy, and then I snipped out the wrong piece. But I noticed that these arm pieces didn't match at all. So I was like, oh, that's gotta be me fucking up. So luckily, I noticed that I was fucking it up. All right, so we get that together there. Goes together like that. This goes like that. Yeah. And then this goes like that. And it goes like that. Great. We did an arm. We got an arm done. And then arm can go on here. Like that. And then, of course, there'll be more that goes on top of it. But the shoulders go on. For whatever reason, the shoulder pieces go on once the arm is on. But we can panel line this now, and we'll continue with the build. We'll do the other arm. Let's see. Yu says, "Oh, I don't drink, but I'd go drinking with you. If you wanted to go out and drinking, I'd go and hang out. But I don't drink." Azusa freaks out and is just oh no, we shouldn't do that. And then she feels bad about that, and she's mad at herself for freaking out and rejecting the idea of them spending time together. And the next day, she finds that Yu brought one of the cat mugs, the one that wasn't broken. And then at the party, Azusa gets drunk because she is not used to drinking. And she is trying to fit in, and she is nervous, which is not a great situation. Azusa then has to leave, and she comes up with an excuse for them to go, and that excuse is that you fucked up on something, and so they have to go fix it, which is a weird thing to say, but is like that was a way to go. I wouldn't necessarily say that was the way to go, but it was a way to go. So they leave. She apologizes for being such a bad mentor, and he's like, no, you're doing a great job. I think you're really nice. Hey, at some point, I'm going to ask again, let's go drinking sometime. To which she says, yeah, actually, you know what? Yes. And then she passes out because, of course, she is drunk. And then next morning, she finds out that you had to take her home, and then he was out so late doing that he had to go stay with a friend. He didn't stay with her, obviously, but he went and stayed because he's a good boy. But he went and stayed with a friend, and he didn't get a chance to go home and change before he had to go back to work, which is embarrassing for her. Now, sometimes, it is sometimes our girl overreacts and feels bad for overreacting. And it's just like, oh, come on. In this case, yeah, you made this guy get you in a taxi cab, and he had to spend the night at a friend's house, and he hasn't changed before he came back to work. And then turns out, in helping you get into a taxi cab, your lipstick got on his collar, and now people think that he's got a girlfriend because he's got lipstick on his collar. Like, yeah, that's just all you. You fucked up in these particular ways. Like, these are your things that you did, like, for sure. So in this instance, she should feel bad. And she gets embarrassed by that. And I'm like, yeah, that's reasonable. Sometimes I think it's too much. And then we get another sitcom scenario set up. This is episode 3, by the way. Their boss is like, hey, I'm going to need you during Golden Week to go on a business trip to Okinawa. So now they're going to travel together. And again, I've got to reiterate, he has been at this job for like a week, and he is in charge of putting together a party for a coworker he barely knows, and now he's going on a business trip with his senpai. And it's just like, all right, chill a little bit. I really like this. You know that I am a sucker. At this point, you probably know that I am a sucker for adult romantic shows, or just adult shows in general. That I just find them to be great, and I always look forward to having those, like, just something like that to watch. That I am a sucker for these kinds of shows. Because I like a good teen romantic comedy anime, but there are just so many of them that once in a while I like something that skews a little older, and I like knowing those are still getting made. Those are still getting produced. So yeah, I'm really digging my Awkward Senpai, and I will be continuing to watch that as time progresses. As that continues to be a thing, I'll continue to watch it because I think it's pretty neat. Sorry, let me just do one thing quick right here. We have some time left in the stream, and now is the time where I would like to hear from you, friends. I would like to know, what are you watching? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I always love hearing from you about those things, so please consider taking some time to let me know what you got going on as I continue to assemble this model kit. I finished Is This Seat Taken? I wanted to do it on stream, but as you know, Tuesday stream got all messed up. Was it my fault? Was it Twitch's problem? Was it both? I don't know, but it all got messed up. And then it turns out those final missions, those final puzzles are hard as fuck. They're very goddamn difficult. And I'm glad I did. First off, they took longer than 2 hours. Or they took about 2 hours to finish that last one. And so that would have been longer on stream. certainly. So that would have been a rough time to do it on stream. But mostly it's just like, yeah, some of those were tricky. They were good. They introduced a new thing of, we had seen the beach before, but they introduced the idea of not wanting to sunburn. And not wanting to sunburn gets accomplished, one, by being in the shade, or two, by being next to someone with sunscreen. So if you're next to, and I didn't understand that at first, so it took me a while to like figure that part of the mechanic out. But once I did, I was like, oh, okay. So if you're with somebody that has sunscreen, then you're okay being in the sun if you don't want to burn. Yeah, some of those were pretty tough. And the bonus stage at the last stage, the bonus job of the last stage, I thought was really fun. That was a good bit of business of like people getting together for portraits, and some people wanting to like doesn't want someone in front of them, but that doesn't necessarily mean they want to be in the back row. They might just not want. They might want to be in the back row and no one in the front row, or this person doesn't want to sit next to this other person. You got to accommodate all them. It was good. Overall, I think Is This Seat Taken is really fun, and I would recommend it if you haven't played it. Maybe you want to look for it on sale. You want to wait for a sale. You put it on your wish list, see if it comes up. But I think that game is cute and fun. So I recommend it. Once again, folks, if you've been playing any video games or watching any anime or reading some books, you go to the movie theater, if you got, you did some cooking this weekend, I always love hearing from you about what you're up to, what you're into. So feel free to let me know in the chat what you got going on, because I like hearing from you about those things and things. Let's see if there's anything else going on. Like I said, I didn't do a lot yesterday or today. I spent a lot of time working on getting iPads ready and then trying to figure out what apps I want to put on there. If you have killer iPod apps that like are must-haves, feel free to let me know. I would be happy to take suggestions. Right now I've got my manga readers on there, and I've got what else do I have in there? I got my manga readers, I got my YouTube on there. I have Keynote, because I bought Keynote years ago for iPad, and it still works on there. So I have Keynote on there for presentations and the like. And then I got out of the cloud my last, the last time that I did, that I used my iPad. The last time I used my iPad in Keynote was 2022. I put a PowerPoint presentation on there as a backup. Keynote, basically the idea was if my laptop didn't work with the convention center when I had that, then I would have a backup. And I always do that. I had my phone as well. I always put Keynote on my phone when I'm like going to go to a convention or something. I am so paranoid about like, well, maybe my laptop won't work there. So I always have it like on my laptop. I have it on my phone. I have it on my iPad. I have it on a USB as a PDF and as a, whatever. I always have like, so I can like borrow someone else's computer. I always bring like multiple adapters. I'm actually thinking I might have a USB-C to HDMI. Or you know what I actually might have? I might have a USB-C to like DVI. I got to look through my pile of stuff. I might have an adapter that will work with my current iPad. And if it does, that would be neat. That would just be a neat thing. I don't know. Nothing extraordinary. But if I can use that adapter and I don't have to buy an adapter, that would be good. Lord Crashton says, I've been playing more Power Wash Simulator 2 as I'm washing a gas station. Nice. I have not played any of Power Wash Simulator 2. I'm going to start it on Tuesday because I like to start video games on stream. And then I'll be playing a bunch of it on my own. And of course, we will maybe play more of it in November. Certainly play more of it in December. But, I haven't touched it other than like making sure it loaded up. And I'm still hoping that there is a patch that comes out before the stream. I'm hoping we get the patch that fixes borderless window. Really hoping. But also maybe with my computer, you'll be doing the same jobs as the demo at the start, says Lord Crashton. Oh, is that true? All right. Well, then I guess I got to play some before Tuesday. I don't want to redo the demo jobs. Okay. I thought for sure. All right. Well, yeah, I don't want to. So I guess I will have to play through that because I don't want to do the demo jobs on stream. So that's good to know. Thank you, Lord Crashin. I guess I will spend some time tomorrow getting through and doing the jobs that we did there. I definitely don't want to do that bathroom again. Certainly not on stream, but I don't want to do that bathroom again in general. But I guess I gotta. So I'll get through that job. And the demo was the fire truck and the bathroom. I think that was all that was in the demo. If there was anything else in the demo, please let me know. I don't remember. I feel bad. I don't remember what the jobs were. I guess I would recognize it if I started watching something that I don't recognize, then I would be like, oh, okay, this wasn't in the demo. But I know those two were. And then Lastbrook says, I've been grinding a lot in Fortnite. Oh, nice. Playing a little Fortnite, Lastbrook. In a last grasp to try and get the black and gold Megazord skin at level 200. Other than that, I'm trying to catch up on Next Landers Watchcast. Watch the still excellent Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Planning to watch Final Destination for the first time tomorrow. That first Final Destination movie is very much of its time, but I liked it. Lord Crasher says Antiques Van. Yes, that's right. And Public Toilet. Okay, those are the two jobs. All right. Well, I'll make sure that I've done those in the game so I don't have to do them on Tuesday. That's good to know. And Miss says, hi, Pat Bear. It's me. Me, New Type. Nice. Hello, New Type. Welcome to the stream. We're almost done, but we're happy to have you here. But yeah, if anybody else has been getting up to anything they want to chat with me about, I always like hearing from you about those things. For whatever reason, we are going from the arms to the backpack, and then we do the shoulders after the backpack. But whatever, let's get the backpack done. Sometimes in these kits, you don't do the backpack till the very end, so I'm fine with doing it now. Let's see if I can get these out. But yeah, I'm excited for next Tuesday to play Power Wash Simulator 2 on stream. So I will have to get those jobs done so that were from the demo. I wish that the demo progress carried over, but I understand why it doesn't. So whatever. And then we'll try to buy some good stuff and get going on the game. I'm not super focused on, other than like tutorial wise, being like, hey, I know you need to learn about buying furniture for the house and all that, or for the shop and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm more interested in getting cool stuff for the power washer, getting that all together. But yeah, I do hope there's a patch and they fix borderless window mode, because it'll just make my life easier if they can fix that shit. Because otherwise you got to minimize the game so that way you can change things around, and if I want to type in the chat, or if I want to fiddle in OBS, like, it's annoying if you can't tab out. I completed the real grade new double fin. Nice. Hell yeah. Love a good real grade. Always excited to work on one of them. All right, we'll get this on here, and we'll build this. We won't panel line it yet. We'll do that on Monday. But we will get this together, the backpack together here, because we are getting close to wrapping things up. It is almost time for us to say goodbye. I gotta watch the West Coast replay of AEW Collision. I don't have to do the... let's see. Can I see the inside of the backpack? No. But I do want to panel line the back of this here, so we will do that, and we'll get some shoulders on this kit on Monday's stream. Lord Crasher says, I just started watching Poker Face Season 2, and the first episode features Cynthia Aviro quadruplets that starred in a kids cop show called Kid Cop that used the back to school theme for its theme. Okay. Lord Crashington, I understood some of what you just said there. Hell yeah. Hell yeah indeed. All right. I want to thank you so much for watching the stream. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time tonight. I will be back on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we will continue to work on the RX-78 NT-1 Gundam NT-1. Now, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go on a raid. We are going to go find someone doing cool stuff that we want to go hang out with and spend some time with them. So we will do that. I think that they're wrapping up, so we're not going to go raid that. Who should we raid? Who should we go see? Arthur Geese is playing The Outer Worlds 2. So we're going to go hang out with Arthur as Arthur plays Outer Worlds 2 and see what's going on there. He's been going for 2 hours. I'm sure Arthur will be wrapping up at some point soon. But Arthur will be a good time when we go hang out with him. So let's go hang out with Arthur. So feel free to come along on this raid. Please consider coming back on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern as I continue to work on this model kit. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you have a good time. If your weekend is still rad, and you have a great Sunday, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for spending some of your Saturday evening with me. I appreciate you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.